We got you updated. This is Radio Imanzi News in English.
To Radio Imanzi, broadcasting from Kigali. Here is the news in English, brought to you by Fiona Umuganwa. The headlines. The Minister of Finance and Economic Planning has said that Rwanda is on track with meeting its state obligations to creditors. Farmers in the Kabatwa sector have expressed concern about the scarcity of manure on the market. Leaders of the Economic Community of West African States are meeting at a highly anticipated summit in Ghana to decide on sanctions against Mali. Welcome back. News in detail. The Minister of Finance and Economic Planning has said that Rwanda is on track with meeting its state obligations to creditors. Minister Uziel Ndagijimana said during a post-budget reading press conference. He said one of the strategies that the country put in place is to target concessional loans that provide substantial grace periods within long-term payment periods. Concessional loans are credit that is extended on terms substantially more generous than market loans, usually by international development financiers such as the World Bank, African Development Bank, among others. The loans have significantly low interest rates and long grace periods, with the possibility of revising terms further. The minister said Rwanda's medium-term strategy is gradually reduce the debt to GDP ratio. Despite the fact that the country is still grappling with the COVID-19 impact, spillovers from Russia-Ukraine war impact, as well as inflation, the budget's external borrowings continue to gradually decline. Rwanda aims to reduce fiscal deficit, the difference between locally mobilized resources and the budget needs. This is the gap that justifies borrowing. The chief gender monitor, Rose Gwabuhihi, has said Rwanda has made significant progress toward gender equality, but there are lingering challenges that need to be confronted. She said this while addressing parliamentarians on the occasion of the Silver Jubilee celebrations of the Rwanda Women's Parliamentary Forum. The forum is composed of 57 women from the Chamber of Deputies and the Senate, as well as 29 of their male colleagues he for she championed, who are only associate members. They shared ideas on what needs to be done to help make further inroads into gender equality and gender parity. Gwabuhihi said we need further improvement in mindset change among women and society in general. She said everyone today understands that women are capable and women themselves understand their worth. In the area of governance, young girls, for instance, know that they have a place in politics. However, this is still an imbalance, especially as a result of misconceptions such as believing that women's empowerment means less influence for men. She called on members of Parliament and FFRP to continue toward addressing the remaining barriers to gender equality. Founded in 1996, Rwanda Women Parliamentary Forum is a cross-party women's caucus aimed at uniting women in parliament towards striving for common goals and championing gender equality, especially in legislation. The city of Kigali has announced that it will invest 600 million Rwandan francs under the 2022-2023 fiscal year in extending Imbuga City Walk, Kigali's major car-free zone and recreational space. The allocation is part of the 137.5 billion Rwandan franc city's budget that was approved by city council members. Formerly known as Car-Free Zone, Imbuga City Walk was built as part of the city's efforts to transform Kigali into a recreational space and environmentally friendly place for residents. The car-free zone was introduced in 2015 to decongest the capital's central business district. Imbuga City Walk has street benches and free Wi-Fi, green corridor landscaping, kids playground, among others. The farmers in the Kabatwa sector have expressed concern about the scarcity of manure on the market. They claim it is extremely rare, and when it does appear, it is extremely expensive. Camille Georgette, the Kabatwa sector's executive secretary, confirmed the issue and noted that it had been exaggerated by COVID-19. However, she said that they will advocate to the higher levels of the government so that a factory can be built in Rwanda to produce manure locally to help solve the problem. Now, in the Basketball World Cup qualifiers, Sudan has won 73 points to 63 of Rwanda.
Some items of international news on Radio Imanzi.
The leaders of the Economic Community of West African States are meeting at a highly anticipated summit in Accra, Ghana on Sunday to decide on sanctions against Mali, Guinea and Burkina Faso, three countries that have suffered coups. The West African leaders, who intend to push for a swift return of civilians to power, will consider the tough trade and financial retaliation measures imposed on Mali since January and the lesser ones in Burkina Faso and Guinea. Tunisian President Kais Saied has published a draft constitution that will put to a referendum on July 25th and gives broad powers to the head of state, marking a radical break with the existing parliamentary system. The text published in the official Gazette confirms the expected presidentialization of the regime by stipulation that the President of the Republic exercises executive power assisted by a government led by a head of government whom he appoints. The President, according to the published draft, will also enjoy wide-ranging prerogatives. He is the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, defines the general policy of the state and approves laws. He can also submit legislation to Parliament, which must examine it as a matter of priority. Ghana's President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo has authorized Finance Minister Ken Afori-Atta to commence formal engagements with the International Monetary Fund to support the country's economy. A statement issued by the country's information ministry said the order follows a telephone conversation between the President Akufo-Addo and the IMF Managing Director. The Dutch Central Bank chief has apologized for the institution's involvement in the 19th century slave trade. The latest expression of contrition in the Netherlands linked to the country's historic role in the trade in enslaved people. The apology came this morning at an event on the country's National Day marking the Dutch abolishment of slavery and followed similar moves in recent years from municipal authorities in the main Dutch cities of Amsterdam, Rotterdam and Utrecht. China has gifted Zimbabwe with a new modern parliament building to replace the current structure built during colonial era as Beijing continues strengthening its influence on the southern African country. The imposing structure sits on 33,000 square meters and comprises a 6-story office complex and a 4-story building housing the National Assembly and Senate. 3 bridges on each floor link the 2 buildings. The National Assembly can accommodate 400 people, while the Senate chamber seats 150. It also has conferencing facilities, 15 committee rooms, staff office space, and a car parking area. The office building has 600 rooms that would house members of parliament and employees. Built by Shanghai Construction Group (ACG) and fully funded by the Chinese government as a gift to the people of Zimbabwe, the new parliament building is located in Mount Hampden, about 18 kilometers from Harare city center, where the old chambers are. Now there you have it. That is the end of tonight's edition.